Civilization or Barbarism, an Authentic Anthropology by Dr. Cheikh and Diop. Shu, Tefnut, air, water. Geb, nut, equals earth, fire. Osiris, Isis, equals Adam and Eve. Seth and Nephthys also equals Seth and Nephthys. These 8 gods form the Heliopolitan Ogdode without Ra. When they are reunited with Ra, they form the Enid, or the 9, which thus ranks before the Ogdode, hence the probable mystical reasons for the inversion of the numbers 9 and 8 in the progression, respectively symbolizing the Heliopolitan Enid and Ogdode. The demiurge fills the intervals in this last progression according to an arbitrary process that is laborious and elementary at the same time, which it is not useful to elaborate here. Let us only note that Plato seems to be inspired by the so-called Pythagorean theories because the progression's mathematical intervals are now considered to be musical intervals that he fills in with mediators, meaning arithmetic and harmonic means, in such a way that one passes without sensing it harmonically from one extreme to the other. The mathematical relationship or ratio that unites musical tones is called aya, equals logos. It deals with a harmonizing operation. There is a symphony when the intervals are all in tune. In fact, only the name of the intervals in music, but Plato fills them with purely mathematical and arbitrary processes that do not correspond at all to the true relations between the musical sounds of a scale. Plato's series is longer than the musical scale, and the only interval called ionaua, diapason, corresponds to 2 groups of 4 strings, or 2 tetrastrings. Consequently, it assumes an instrument of 8 strings. Albert Reval, Tiamas, page 50. Let us recall that the Egyptian harp of 8 or 9 strings reproduces the figures of the Ogdode, or a Enid, and the Pythagoras, who stayed for 20 years in Egypt, became very familiar with Egyptian musical theories. Fragment 6 of Philosos, Philolas already contain musical considerations similar to those set forth by Plato on harmonies. Therefore, even if Philolas does not precede Socrates, one notices that these types of ideas were already commonplace. For Plato, while the music uses only the 2/1 interval equals the ratio of ionaua, going from the Arne string, the deepest of the lyre strings, to the venom. The harmony of the world soul comprises all of the possible scales according to the above series. Thus, the pure number constitutes the most important immortal part of our soul, if not the only one. And Reval shows that Xenocrates remains faithful to the spirit of the Tiamas's doctrines by defining the soul by a number that moves. The task of establishing that the numbers can govern all the manifestations of the cosmos and its movements in general was already accomplished by the Egyptians in protohistory with the invention of the calendar, as we have already stated. Consequently, all these Greek theories on the omnipotence of the number were obviously imported from Egypt, as revealed moreover by the introductory sentence of the Rhine Papyrus. See page 274. African musicologists should study mathematically the relationship between the length or weight of the Egyptian instrument strings, particularly the harp, in order to see whether they will find relationships similar to those found in the Tiamas for the intervals. This would be a supplementary confirmation of the Egyptian origin of Plato's ideas. Tiamas 36a, B, C, and D, and we'll pause right here. Continue back with the conclusion, final chapter of Civilization or Barbarism. I'm Uriel Riley. Highest Heartland.